Welcome back to Daytime Ottawa here on Rogers TV. Many of you out there, I said it at the outset, perhaps are setting some goals. But one thing you should necessarily think about is keeping mental health top of mind when setting those goals. And here to tell us why that's incredibly important, I'm joined by Guillaume Tremblay. He is a lead nurse practitioner at the Royal's Brockville Mental Health Center. Welcome. Great to have you here, Guillaume.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
Happy New Year. Hope you had some wonderful holidays, you
Absolutely.
and your family and friends. And, it's been a difficult time.
Yeah.
I think the good news is over the last decade, Guillaume, we're talking more and more about mental health, and people are being a lot more open about their struggles and so on. But specifically about setting goals, why is it important to think about our mental health when we're doing that?
Well, I think we all know naturally that our mental health is intricately connected with our well-being. Like, you can have great physical health, but if your mind is giving you a lot of trouble, your well-being decreases, there's more internal suffering. And so here the question is, how do we fundamentally improve our well-being in our day-to-day lives? And really, it's the realistic thing to say is that you're not going to change your well-being level, your mental well-being, without kind of a change in your day-to-day pattern. Something has to kind of shift a little bit. And so when we talk about New Year's resolutions, we want to come up with ideas that are practical and realistic, and not really come up with, like, I got to change this, I got to lose, weight, I got to do this, I got to do that. It's like, come up with something that you can see yourself going after.
Right.
And something that will support your well-being, that is good for you. And then we can, we talk about mental hygiene in a few minutes, but really putting our mental health at the forefront, because you talked about, like, there's been a lot of awareness building in the last 10 years, right? And so that's a great thing. We're not as much hesitant to talk about if we're having mental health issues, and that's been a very positive thing for society. But now we want to say, well, what do we do about it? Like, it's like, let's raise awareness about cavities, but we're not really talking about brushing your teeth very much, right? So we really want to take it a little bit further and say, okay, it's good that we're talking about mental health, and now we've got to come up with the nuts and bolts of practical day-to-day approaches to really support our mental well-being.
Yeah, because unfortunately, I think when it comes to our mental health, sometimes we turn to the wrong things. And we've seen alcohol consumption go up. We've seen, recreational cannabis consumption go up. And one thing that you wanted to talk about today in particular was practicing self-compassion.
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you do that consciously? I guess you need to have that conversation with yourself.
Yeah,
right?
it's a first step, I'd say, self-compassion. It's really a commitment to having an attitude of kindness and understanding towards the aspects of yourself that you don't like as much.
Okay.
So sometimes we have aspects of ourselves we don't like, and so we tend to be critical or judgmental towards ourselves. And really say, no, that doesn't actually work. If it worked, we could say, okay, maybe be a little bit judgmental to yourself, but it just doesn't work. And there's actually quite a bit of evidence around the idea of self-compassion and how much it can actually improve well-being. So shifting your approach to say, okay, this aspect of yourself that you don't like, whether it's physical, mental, whatever, and just come at it from an approach of kindness. How would you talk to a child? You would talk to them with some kindness, and you wouldn't try to judge them. You'll try to understand them. So come up with that approach to yourself. Another aspect of self-compassion is to kind of your shared humanity. That the parts of yourself that you don't like, there are millions of other people who have that same kind of sort of short misgiving towards themselves, that there's nothing that unique about this aspect of yourself that you don't like. Lots of people are going through the same thing. So, we don't want to get too much into our individuality when we're going through a hard time or something we don't like about ourselves. Lots of people in the same boat, and realizing that a little bit can be helpful. And the third pillar of self-compassion is just the idea of awareness of ourselves. So when we get caught up in these sort of more negative emotions, kind of to learn to have the witness attitude of, like, oh, there it is. That it's happening again, and not like, oh, why am I like this again? Like identifying with it. So being a witness to the negative emotions rather than identifying completely with it and getting pulled into, like, oh, I'm doing this thing wrong. I'm stupid or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, there it is. That negative self-talk is happening again.
Right.
I'm witnessing it. So having that witness. So really, it's about being kind and understanding to the aspects of yourself, to remember your shared humanity, and to try to have an attitude of awareness, mindfulness, or witness attitude to sort of the negative experiences that we have. Are the three pillars of self-compassion.
Guillaume, I have to tell you, I was just telling you that I've been doing this a long time and talking about mental health, for a long, long time. No one has put it that well before, honestly.
Oh, thanks.
Because I think, the way that you said, think about how you talk to a child. and how you lift them up.
Yeah.
And we don't do that with ourselves. We don't lift ourselves up. I just wanted to say that before we move on.
And the irony is that sometimes when people think that if you're going to be kind to yourself, you got to kick yourself in the butt to get your things done. That's not really how it works. It's like, I have 3 children. It's like, I love them, but I'm still going to impose a certain discipline from a space of kindness and compassion.
Right.
If we pose that same kind of attitude towards ourselves, it doesn't mean we're like, oh, I'm just going to watch Netflix 12 hours a day, right? You probably actually will find all of a sudden there's more space, you're less heavy, more lighthearted, and then all of a sudden there's space to take on this new habit that you know is good for you.
Right.
Whether it's just drinking 1 beer instead of 4 every night.
Right.
Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. So compassion and kindness towards yourself, or understanding, actually can open up the opportunity to involve new healthy habits in our day-to-day lives.
You touched on mental health hygiene just a moment ago. What do you mean by that? And we've got about a minute left, but what are some of the ways we can practice good mental health hygiene?
Mental hygiene is basically the attitude of saying it's just like any other hygienic practice. Everybody showers every day. Everybody brushes their teeth every day. Everybody needs to take care of their mind every day. So there's many forms. Gratitude exercises, writing 3 things you appreciate about your life, 3 different things every day, just 5 minutes. Breathing exercises to just quiet the mind a little bit, to lessen the chatter. Going for a walk in nature. You just talked about going outside a lot.
Right.
Going in nature. There's a lot of different evidence-based approaches that we know elevates mental well-being. We have on the Royal's website, of the Royal where I work, we have on the website like 11 different tricks and approaches that are user-friendly, quick and easy, and the idea is to put it in a few minutes you can every day, just like you brush your teeth, you do your shower, put in your mental hygiene as well.
What is that website?
TheRoyal.ca.
Okay, simple as that.
Mental hygiene.
Excellent. Guillaume, really appreciate your time today. As I said, one of the best ways I've heard somebody explain it to me in my career.
Thanks, Derek.
So really appreciate it. Happy New Year again to you and your family. Hope your son's arm is better.
He's on track.
I saw him out there in the green room, so he's on track to getting that break fixed. We'll be back with more right after this.